There are many questions floating around regarding Donald Trump's children and whether or not they could serve a role in his administration. Now, interestingly enough, there were some reports indicating that since Melania Trump will not be staying in the White House and will remain in New York, Ivanka Trump could possibly be staying in the area of the White House that is typically reserved for the First Lady. Now, this was first reported by Lisa Mirando from CNN. She had tweeted via Sarah Murray that Ivanka Trump is to get an office in the same space reserved for First Lady in the White House. Ivanka's title is still to be announced per transition source. Now, Trump's camp responded to that, and they're like, no, this is not true. This is completely false. No decisions regarding Ivanka's involvements have been made. However, it is interesting to ask the question of whether or not Donald Trump can have some of his children serve any position within the White House. And what a lot of people don't know about is that we do have federal anti-nepotism laws, but that federal nepotism law has a lot of questions itself, or there are a lot of questions surrounding it. Now, Congress passed the anti-nepotism law in 1967. It's widely perceived that the lawmakers who wrote the statute were motivated in part by President Kennedy's nomination of his brother, Robert, as Attorney General. So let me give you the wording of the law so you understand exactly what it says. It is that a public official may not appoint, employ, promote, advance, or advocate for appointment, employment, promotion, or advancement in order to a civilian position in the agency which he is serving or over which he exercises jurisdiction or control any individual who is a relative of the public official. Now, all of that is pretty clear except for the definition of agency. What exactly does that mean? Now, there has been some precedent when it comes to that case, and it involves Hillary Clinton. Okay, Oops. It's a little bit of a disaster. So let me give you the details on that. So during Bill Clinton's administration, he appointed Hillary Clinton, his wife, to chair the task force on national health care reform. As a result of that, there was a lawsuit filed in the DC's court, and the central legal question in that case was not about anti-nepotism. It was about whether Hillary Clinton's task force had to publicly disclose records, right? Mm-hmm. But during that case, there was a judge who in passing said something that made it seem as though Bill Clinton can appoint a family member to do something. Let me give you the wording on that. So in the D.C. Circuit's 1993 opinion, the court said that the federal anti-nepotism statute does not appear to cover staff in the White House or in the executive office of the president. So Judge Lawrence Silberman wrote, so for example, a president would be barred from appointing his brother as Attorney General, but perhaps not as a White House special assistant. Mm-hmm. Okay, so again, it's a little unclear as to whether or not someone like Ivanka or someone like her husband can be used in the White House for an official role. But what we do know is it seems like Trump can use a family member for an unofficial advisory role.
Yeah, this is not going to be an issue. Trump will ignore completely clear laws. This has a loophole. He's going to drive a Mack truck through that loophole.
Absolutely.
And so sad day for us that the Clintons created that loophole. Now he's going to say, are you kidding me? Bill Clinton had Hillary Clinton run things. Of course, I'm going to have Ivanka Trump be my assistant, or not an assistant, but an advisor, and et cetera. Look, to me, the more interesting part of the story is how much more he respects his daughter than his two sons.
Yeah.
So before he ever ran for president, he would use Ivanka Trump to help him run the businesses, to be an apprentice, and the two sons would get much lower level jobs, like running his charitable foundation, which does almost nothing. So he's like, okay, but Dad, the foundation doesn't do anything. Yeah, that's right, you schmuck. That's why I put you in charge there. Go, mm-hmm, okay? Mm-hmm. Now he's saying, okay, now the White House is important. I'm going to bring Ivanka. Okay, mm-hmm. The two knuckleheads, I'm going to let them run my businesses. But he doesn't really trust them. So even then he says, Donald Jr. and Eric plus executives will run the businesses. He's like, I'm not going to let those two idiots actually run the business. And he said, and while I'm president, they're not allowed to make any deals. You think it's that because of conflict of interest? No, because he knows how stupid his sons are. So he's not going to let them make any decisions. He's like, but Ivanka's bright. I'm going to bring her along. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ivanka and her husband.
Yeah. And her husband's
tremendous
bright too.
deals. Yeah, they're very skilled. They're very talented people. They're tremendously talented. That's all he says whenever he's asked about it. By the way, look, the one thing that I'm willing to be a little more open-minded on, and it's, look, I'm willing to be open-minded on things that have a little bit of evidence behind them, obviously. Ivanka Trump, in terms of her business dealings, has done questionable things, right? She likes to talk about women's rights. She likes to talk about things like giving women maternity leave and things like that. She hasn't given her own employees that kind of treatment. However, she did meet Al Gore to talk about the issue of climate change. So Trump did elaborate a little more on what Ivanka's role would be in the White House. And so he says he wants her to focus on climate change. And he wants her to also focus on women's issues. Now, again, based on her practices, it doesn't seem like she genuinely cares about women's issues. But she did meet with Al Gore, and Al Gore did have positive things to say about that meeting. So who knows? There could be a positive thing out of this.
No, I want to be really clear about this. You don't want Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner to leave the White House. You want them in the White House because it's a murderer's row of incompetence and crony capitalists and corrupt guys that are surrounding Trump. Ivanka and Kushner appear to be certainly more moderate and more educated and than not the average bear, but certainly the average bear at the White House. Okay, so by comparison, they're reasonable. So if they lose that battle, and you just got Steve Bannon and Rex Tillerson and Mnuchin running the place, so we're stuck in this weird situation where we got to root for Ivanka Trump, but I think we do.
Yeah.
So I think she's going to be the only slight voice of reason that Trump might actually listen to. You're not a member of the Young Turks yet?
Come on.
Now, when you join up, we're going to say,
oh, yeah.
We might even say,
There you go, baby. There you go.
be the independent media, be the Young Turks. TYTnetwork.com/join.